2, 1. Hey, Brandon, what's up, dude?
What up, George?
It's been, what, 2 fucking weeks?
2 weeks, bro.
It's been fucking great, dude. Dude, the world's going to fucking shit. Don't look at the camera, dude. Make it look more natural.
I'm pretty, dude.
Not pretty. What a fag, dude. Yeah, so, dude, oh my gosh, there's been so much shit going on with Rittenhouse. Is that his name?
Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse.
Hero and a leader.
Oh my gosh.
My man.
Yeah. Wow, dude. But see, what's your take on it so far, dude?
Well, my take on it is the kid was defending himself. You know, there's people yelling at him, bust on me, N-word. Like these white dudes just screaming the N-word. Social justice warriors, pedophiles. He's a pedophile. Attacking a child. That's how you get shot in the face.
Dude. You know, one of the things I had a conversation with somebody, and not a conversation, more or less a discussion. And they said, well, he killed innocent victims. How do you explain that logic? When you have all these people rioting, they're looting, they're burning, they're brandishing guns.
Well, CNN says fiery but peaceful.
How do you explain that one? I don't understand. How do you explain the fiery part? What does that mean?
It all goes back to that metaphor I talked to you about 2 weeks ago, you know, when Jim Jones faked like he got shot.
Right.
You know, and then these people, they don't want to accept logic. It's just whatever comes out of the TV box, bro. It's going to be a recurring subject in probably all of our podcasts.
One of the things that I touched on regards to the comment this individual made related to this. I said, look, this is just a little taste of what Americans can do. You know, the Constitution says that we are supposed to protect this country from enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yep.
And these people are not being peaceful by any means. And if it comes down to where the cops are standing down, they're not doing anything, and they're letting the cities burn, I mean, the only option and the only answer is for Americans to, you know, to do their duty as Americans.
And that's what I've been saying to all these people online. They're like, well, he broke these gun laws and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, looking at them, I'm like, you know, the Black Panthers, they used to carry guns around, right? Mm-hmm. AK-47s to protect their streets from, you know, situations like Floyd happening. Now, granted, Floyd was a piece of shit, but he didn't deserve to get a knee put on his neck for that long.
Right.
And had the Black Panthers still been around with their AK-47s, Floyd would still be alive, and, you know, we wouldn't even be having this discussion about Rittenhouse right now.
Right. But see, it's going to get much worse. And these people, because they've been given so much strength to basically do whatever they want, they think they're just, everything's cool. No, man. I mean, we're just being peaceful, and it's getting to the point where you're going to feel the American people wrath, and that's going to be ugly, and it's going to be quick.
Right. I mean, when the cops step down, the civilians are supposed to step up. Otherwise, you know, are we just going to let our hometown burn? It's not going to happen in my hometown.
But see, here's a problem where people don't understand, or at least the ones that are watching CNN or any of the other, you know, news organizations, propaganda machines, that they've been given this picture, very narrow, but they don't give people the entire perspective or the entire picture.
Right.
And it's really becoming to the point where some people who still don't believe that things are really that bad, they're going to get caught with their pants below their knees.
Yeah.
And I mean, and let's hope that that's not the case, where, you know, full-blown war unfolds based on, you know, Americans protecting their country, their cities, their towns, their stores, you name it. And these individuals who have been basically trained in college and whatever else, it's gonna get real ugly, real fast. And a lot of people. But see, the thing is, a lot of people are not even prepared. They think, oh, it's gonna be fine. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with my my sister-in-law. So listen, this is happening. The people behind it, they're just, getting ready. And with this, you know, virus, you know, Everything is, there's just cramming them up, cramming them up, cramming them up, and it's just becoming more and more. They're suppressing people. It's just no. It's going to come to a point where people are really going to unleash, and it's going to say, nope, it ends here.
It's a psychological experiment. If businesses and the economy wasn't crashed because of this fake cold, then I don't think people would be as pent up and as riled up as they are right now. I feel like.
By the way, in fact, I'm going to look at the camera and I'm going to point out we didn't need to fucking get tested to meet up. In fact, give me a handshake, Brandon. Thanks for coming, bro. In fact, thanks for allowing this.
I didn't really like it.
Thank you for being part of this experiment that we're in right now.
All right.
And listen, I don't understand. People still are under the. In fact, more and more people are beginning to see what's really going on, but they're still very reliant on what government. They're begging government. These individuals got elected. They wanted our vote. Yep. We are the government.
Exactly.
These people are servants.
Civil servants.
These people need to basically do what we tell them, not what they tell us.
Right.
In fact, I went to the doctor because I had an issue with my eye this week, right? And I asked the doctor, listen, I need a note because I don't want to keep wearing that muzzle. Well, we have to follow CDC guidelines. What a dumbass. Seriously. These people don't understand that there's individuals behind the curtains who are essentially driving these organizations to essentially control everybody.
Right. It's like you're a doctor. You don't realize that women in hijabs overseas are still getting COVID and colds and coughs whenever the weather
changes.
Yeah. It's human nature. It's biology. It's crazy.
But see, here's again, like I was saying a couple of weeks ago. People don't read the headlines. They say there's 100 or 300 or 3,000 or 4,000 more cases of coronavirus.
Dude, you can type in any 3 numbers into Google, right? Try this. Type in any 3 numbers into Google and then type the words new cases after, and somewhere in the world those 3 numbers is a number of new COVID cases. It's the algorithm's crazy.
But why is it an algorithm when it should be natural cases if that is the real case?
Because it's a propaganda machine.
I understand that.
Google
Brandon.
is evil.
The point is, I'm trying to make people understand and see that, wait a minute, this podcast, people, and I want everybody to understand, we, Brandon and I, have decided that this is going to be, we're going to stir some real shit. Why? Because all these other podcasts that are basically taking place, they're still,
placating you.
Yeah, they're pussyfooting, and it's not, no, we're not at that point anymore. We're at this point where, it's do or die.
Fighting zombies.
Do or die. Understand that. And it's really getting to that point where,
your brain.
We need to understand and take this very seriously. But the understanding is that things are really bad. Really bad. And if you don't have any water or food, at least for 3 to 6 months, I'm sorry, but you're fucked.
Go to the grocery store, buy like an extra can or 2 of food every time you're there.
I would.
And just throw it in the closet somewhere. It's insurance you can eat.
Okay. And really, it's coming to that point where, and by the way, are we recording? Let me check. Yes, we are. Excuse me.
Take 2.
So it really comes down to understanding the severity of the current situation in this country. I speak for this country because I live here, he lives here, and we're here in this country, the United States of America.
We burn down our cities over dead thugs right now. But
yeah.
We say nothing when thugs murder children.
Okay. So
rape children, cut their faces off, drink their blood, whatever.
One of the things I want to touch on, Brandon, is that people are focusing on the wrong people, meaning our fellow human. The targets shouldn't be our fellow human because we have a difference of opinion. It should be we the people going against these machines of propaganda that they keep pushing these ideals and lies and everything else to keep people confused.
Zombie HQ, bro.
Again, we're trying to figure out answers here and ways to change the way things are going. Yeah, granted, we are up against a presidential election, and I mean, more and more is looking like Trump's going to win. Could it be? I mean, it could change. Sure. I mean, we've seen it with blue states, manipulating the votes, and they,
Wait, you mean my dead cat can't vote?
apparently not. Well, actually, it can.
It can.
Yeah, it can.
I'll vote for him. That's cool.
But
I won't. I'm not going to commit voter fraud.
No.
YouTube.
I'm actually going to go and get in line without a mask to vote.
I'm going to have my ID on my hanging on my chest.
So, I want to really touch on a couple of topics. One being California now, and a topic that is off the wall that has been bugging me for a while. And this is non-political related. It has to do with this, not ideal, but what do you call these guys? Influencers. We'll touch on that. But I want to talk about California now and what is Gavin Newsom doing.
The new pedophile law? That's political.
Yeah, it is.
Not really. It's actually good versus evil.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom, y'all, just signed in a law saying basically if you're 18 and you rape an 8-year-old, you don't have to register as a sex offender. You got a 10-year limit now.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're 21, you can go on ahead and touch an 11-year-old.
Wow, dude.
You got to make sure they're at least 10 years younger than you. And you're good to go.
You can. I mean,
26, you can
listen,
diddle a 16-year-old. There you go, fellas.
It really pisses me off, dude. I mean, and honestly, I'm going to make this very, very clear. I find out any motherfucker who's messing with kids, understand it's not going to be pretty. I will hang your ass, and I will fucking stuff your dick in your mouth.
Pedophiles deserve to die.
Okay, and this is very controversial, but the simple fact is, no. Those who have kids, they love their kids, and they have children because they want a better future for their children, and they want their legacies to move forward in a positive way.
Yep.
And it's really Newsom, Gavin, dude, you have children, dude. What are you doing? I mean, it has to come down to a point where, look, you don't care about the Californians. You go and push this bullshit that and your cabinet knows that is so bogus. You're stealing billions of dollars to basically help your own political gain, siphoning the money through China and, pretend like, and then not answer questions when you've been asked about it.
He tried to get a $1 trillion loan from China, right? Something like that. And then Trump had to stop it.
I don't know what happened. All I know is that he basically used close to $1 billion and then $300 million more to basically buy masks. But it's coming out that money is being siphoned through different accounts to basically pay people on this side of the field to basically protect the accounting so that information doesn't come out and help his political, agenda. His
wineries are still open, though. He's
Dude,
making profit wherever he can, huh?
Don't get me started, dude, because...
Is there emoluments for governors?
Yeah. Apparently there is, dude. I mean, look, we need to understand the seriousness of this. And look, again, Gavin, if you're listening, dude, you have kids. You think once this is over, your political position is gonna end there? No, bro. Americans are coming for you, man. And the political system, the justice system, is gonna be clean and is gonna be, rectified, and you're gonna pay for all these crimes. It really comes down to that, man. And look, what are you gonna tell your kids? Sorry, if you have no regard for the American people, Californians, who's to say what regard you have for your children? I mean, if I was me, it's like, dude, fuck this. I don't care how I've been compromised or how I've been, what I've done. I'm sticking white family, and that's the end of it. If you're like single, you have no problems, so we can, you can get prosecuted and be done with. But you have a family, dude.
He doesn't have loyalty to his own family though. Like, I mean, or his friends. Didn't he like sleep with his best friend's wife before he came to office?
And I just learned. I didn't know this. That what's that girl's name?
Best friend. I mean, there's one type of snake to cheat on your own wife, but it's another type of snake to sleep with your friend's wife while you're cheating on your own wife, right?
Dude, it's and it's really sad. I mean, I take no pleasure in saying this because, yeah, it is my ass because I'm saying it. But I'm, as an individual, as an American, I believe that, there has to be morals. And just because you are following certain directives from the UN or the CDC or whoever the hell who's paying you, the Chinese, and I know for a fact that you're fucking dealing with the Chinese communists getting money and trying to sabotage the state. But look, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter which hole you go and hide when all this shit is, when all this dust settles. It's not gonna go good for you, man. Stop.
Enemy
Stop.
of the people.
There's a lot of pissed off people that are really, really, I mean, they're up to their fucking eyeballs and they're not having it. Criminals can get away for so long until they get caught.
Gavin Newsom, his new COVID criminal rules.
What's with this fucking purple color? There's like different levels, different layers. Now you're in level purple.
I know that not long ago a 3-striker got out. The dude had nothing to live for. All he did was chase around his ex-wife, tried to set her house on fire. After he got out the first time, he tried to set his house on fire, and that was his 3rd strike, and he was going down for pretty much his whole life, and he's been locked up for like 20-something years, and he was looking at another 20 pretty much for the rest of his life, and Gavin Newsom released him because he didn't want him to catch a cold.
Ooh. If that doesn't smell like sabotage to me, I don't know what does.
And then they're turning around locking people up for opening their businesses or not wearing a mask. I haven't seen it specifically, but I know that people are getting arrested and handcuffed in other states for opening their gyms.
No, we need to go really talk to, the people who are really in charge of their counties is the sheriff. And if we as individuals, and this goes countrywide, if you go talk to your sheriff, make sense of the situation, understand that if the state goes or the county goes, he goes, and everybody else with it. We need to go talk to our sheriff and say, look, don't follow these rules because they're unconstitutional to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of pissed off people now. And now, it's really coming to even taxes, more taxes for the rich people. I mean, does that still apply to that law that Obama signed? That if you made, what was it, 150,000 or 250,000, you would pay more taxes or something like that. I can't remember, but he, if that is going to be applicable to California, then all these people that are, that are making decent amount of money to at least pay rent, they're going to be paying more taxes.
Right.
I mean, I just don't see how that can really pan out, especially when what's the percentage that are the people that are not working right now? Because the unemployment is still what? Is it 30%?
That's pretty high, and that's a lot of tax dollars that the state isn't collecting anymore. So this state, I mean, with all the businesses being shut down and people not working, and less state taxes being paid, and then all the extra money that Newsom is giving out onto unemployment, it's gonna do.
While he's stealing most of it.
While he's stealing, it's gonna do some lasting damage to California's economy.
But see, here's the other thing I've noticed while driving through the bridge. I've noticed people. They avoid, especially they go on a carpool lane, right? And they go, instead of going directly to the lane, they go and veer and avoid the camera from capturing their license plate.
Yeah.
It's and I read an article that how many millions of dollars are not being paid in tolls now. There's so much.
But the toll's bullshit anyway. That was supposed to be temporary a long time ago.
Right? No, when I came to
and they're like, oh, we got money for our bridge back. Let's do this forever.
But see,
after a week,
that's what Democrats do, man. They once they get a little taste of of money, oh, they're not letting that go.
No.
And here's the thing: I knew that because when I came here to the Bay Area, every time I would go across the bridge, it was $1. Then it jumped to $2. And then it started playing with the idea of more money. They needed more money. That's when, like, around 2008, when things were really going down to hell. Well, we need to raise taxes again, and therefore we need to raise the tolls. How the hell I don't understand the logic, man. People don't have money, don't have jobs, but yet you want to raise taxes and tolls. How do you expect people to pay for that?
Wealth gap. That's what they want. They want everything to look like San Francisco. You know, they want to be rich white elites and up in the top stories of their buildings, while people shit on their doorsteps and shoot up drugs on their doorsteps. And then, you know, they claim that they're all about these people, but then they just ignore them when they see somebody sitting down hungry, really in need of help. You know, they just ignore them and they just put their nose up and go back up to their condo on the 50th floor.
When I came here in '98, San Francisco was so pretty. I mean, I came here from LA, and I was dating this one girl, and things didn't work out, obviously. But when I came here, we went to downtown, to the city. It was pretty. It was around the time when the Blue Angels were here, and I was like, man, I want to live here, and that's the reason why I came here, because it was really pretty. I mean, no smog anywhere. I was, wow, this is cool, and dude, it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful city from a bird's eye view. Yeah. And then when you're right up there, it's looks like a piece
Although
of bird
I'm
shit.
going to bring this topic again. You and I need to go to the city and start taking, video of all these locations where there's homeless, so that we can point out to the people out there that there is a problem, and it's not just, a shithole, even though it is, but it goes beyond that point. It really does. Yeah. It's really, really, really bad.
Coming soon.
Yeah. So we're gonna drive to the city, and hopefully you can make some time. Yeah. In the next 2 weeks or so, a week or so, whatever.
For sure.
Because with family and you've been busy over the water. You're walking on water. I've seen you.
I'm an electrician now, man. I'm doing my electrician thing, y'all.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the other thing. Now, I want to touch on this topic, and I want your logic behind it. Influencers or influencing. What is your take on that, especially in the internet? What's your take? And I have a very particular take on that view.
Well, it's what the internet is doing is it's messed up. Like, an influencer is, to me, I see, if I just hit like search on Instagram, it shows me like all these pictures of women like working out and like, in super tight clothes, butt showing. And it's like, I don't search for these women, but like all I do is just hit search on Instagram, and I see little Daniel Barogi, who's not even 18 yet, in skimpy clothes all over like my search on my Instagram, and like all this other stuff. It's crazy, George. It's really crazy. This whole like influencer thing. It's
But I want to know the definition, because here's my take. And I was having a conversation with the wife about 2 months ago, and said, and I posted a few things about it, just, and she kind of like, ha ha ha, what are you doing? This is what I look at. This is what I believe. No, sorry. This is what an influencer is. If you as an individual have discovered something, you have a track record of, inventing things, motivating things, motivating people. You're a motivator. You build something. You create something out of nothing. You're a scientist.
That's not an influencer.
But hold on. Let me just get to my point. You create something. You're an inventor. You're a doctor. You're an engineer, and you basically, tell people about it, and show things that you have created physically. Or, for example, you work out, and that's an influencer. I feel influenced by someone like, oh my gosh, you created that? How long did it take? I'm curious. I want to know. But what I've seen, like you explain, all these individuals, especially
Sex.
girls. Here's my point. These people are not influencers because I'm not being influenced by chicks with big asses or or dresses. That's just you're marketing something. That's not an influencer. That's a marketer.
Yeah.
Because regardless of whether you get paid or not, you are promoting something. Therefore, that is marketing. That's not influencing. You have to be able to show me something, or create something that it took you a while to build, or come up with, and say, that is very interesting.
Right.
I might be intrigued to look more into it. That I feel influenced by that individual based on what he or she have created. Right?
Yep.
You need to bring something to the table, not something that's being given to you to promote. Again, it is marketing.
Yeah.
It's not influencing. And these individuals who think they're influencers, no, you're full of shit, dude. You've been lied to.
Well, they're influencing young kids to get on the internet and look slutty.
That's still marketing.
So that's
you're
what they're
marketing
calling
something, right?
Yeah.
So people can get into that role of things, but no.
Well, it depends on your definition of influencer.
Fuck you. Okay? Don't give me that shit, dude. Well, hold on. Let me explain. No. It's marketing. It is marketing. Knock it off. All right? So, I was having a long conversation even with my brother-in-law, too. He was like, yeah, that makes sense. I think that it is marketing. But then again, he threw his twist into it, which, yeah, it makes sense. But at the end of the day, it's still marketing.
Yeah.
Because either whether you make money or not, you're presenting something, just to show for, not something that you actually have to offer as an individual. That you say, a doctor, it took you 10 years to go to medical school, and you have built something, you have helped people. That's an influencer.
Yeah. Donald Trump's an influencer.
He makes his millions, regardless of what people say about him. The guy has actually created his empire based on borrow money from his father. Even though people say, "Oh, his dad gave him money to take care." No, he gave it back. And,
Yeah,
and it is another influencer, especially those who are basically looking into this. Russell Brunson. I don't know if you ever heard of the guy. He's a badass salesperson. Really outgoing, but he has built an empire from the ground up. He lost it, he built it up again, and I think he went bankrupt twice and built it up again.
Wow.
That's an influencer.
Yeah.
Because you can look at that guy's track record and say, hey, holy shit, that guy came from nothing, went to something, lost everything, and then came back again.
Yeah.
That's someone to look at and say, wow, dude.
Yeah. Someone who gives you that feeling in your stomach.
Yeah.
You just hear that story and it's just like, oh, wow. Yeah.
That's someone I would actually look up to. Say, dude, give me some of that. I'll fucking, I'll do whatever, man.
And now you got everybody copying Cardi B and her WAP.
What's up with that bitch, dude? I'm sorry, dude. No.
Her weak ass propaganda is what she is.
These people basically sell themselves for nothing.
Yeah. Well, no, she's got something. She's got some money.
Yeah, how? I mean, yeah, she was a dancer, so what?
Well, music. So you sell your soul. You know who I appreciate though? Tom McDonald. He just passed her too in WAP. Shout out to Tom McDonald. He just passed her Wet Ass Pussy. That's the name of her song, WAP. He just passed her in iTunes as #1. And Tom McDonald does everything with his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And they speak some real truth in their songs. The song's called "People So Stupid." And
I saw that coming around. I haven't seen the video, but
gotta check it out.
Yeah. No, but yeah. Now that you're touching on that, why are people selling themselves so short?
Well, it's because the record label tells them what to do.
No, Brandon. But what I'm talking about is people
rich white liberals.
People sell themselves short. They don't see themselves, in the long run. They say, "Oh, I have all these millions of dollars. I can make it through." Really? I mean, they don't understand how politics works.
Or they're just, greedy.
Everything revolves around politics, and people need to understand that whatever, even if they say, "Well, I don't want to talk about politics. So this is just bullshit. I'm not interested." But do you really understood that everything revolves around politics? Because everything that happens in politics, it is molded up against your own life.
Well, since the beginning of time, men like you and me would meet in the public square and we would debate and talk politics. That's what happened. But ever since this whole culture has come around, you know, and now it's like, no politics, leave me alone, blah, 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 because everybody wants to stay in their box. And that's not how a universal consciousness works. That's not how good defeats evil. When we isolate ourselves, you know, bad things happen.
But see, now that you point that out too, how convenient that now you need to be alienated to basically get rid of this virus. See how that works?
Yeah.
Even though it's celestial / universal, an individual cannot be alienated without any contact with his fellow human.
No, that's because, you know, like we discussed this in the beginning, it's all this pent up energy that you get, and then the news shows you something to rile you up, and yeah, now you're gonna go out and you're gonna fight fascism, and everybody's a racist if they believe that Kyle Rittenhouse was defending himself. You know, if people are given permission, you know, people are legitimately given permission to Jacob Blake for being a rapist and being violent with police officers and not complying and reaching when he was going for a cop just because his skin was black. If I had the same history of assault on a police officer and same type of sexual violent history, and a cop came at me and I fought back and I turned around and I reached for something, that cop knows that there's like 0.02 seconds he has to react, and it's either risk getting shot and not coming home to his family, or getting rid of the threat, which is me, who would have had a violent history against cops. If you have a violent history against cops, comply when they stop you and you won't get shot. Just comply.
Yeah. I mean, this story really is really interesting because it shows that that's just a little tiny example of what will happen once people start, returning fire. It doesn't matter which way you look at it. I mean, this is just one little fraction of what can really happen really fast. We have how many millions of veterans that are watching, just patiently watching.
Waiting.
They're waiting.
Sitting there like this.
They're waiting, salivating, just waiting. And this is why I say that the media needs to be prosecuted, because they've been essentially used for to push propaganda to divide the American people.
Yeah, there's something illegal, like they're providing contributions to a political party without reporting it.
The worst part of it is that they are still getting funded by government.
Yeah.
And that's no. I mean, why?
It's because it's Operation Mockingbird, George. CIA. I mean, we know this. I don't know if all y'all know this, but the CIA is in the media. It's Operation Mockingbird. Look it up. It's they are an arm of the government. Yeah.
Apparently, their funding was gonna stop, and I don't know. I think it went over, and they're still getting funded. That's what a couple of years ago they were. The media was kind of freaking out because there was no more money coming in.
But it's been taken over by both. It's both sides have been taken over by this evil force. It seems like McCarthy, the Republican, out there saying there's no cabal of criminals. Basically a Republican Amy Robach. It's on both sides. So just because somebody has a D or an R in front of it, I'm not a Republican, but the Democrats can't win.
For me, I am not a Republican or Democrat. I'm common sense. In fact, there should be a party called Common Sense. Because all this, there's this two-party system, there's this, paradigm of left and right. It always creates this, people can talk. And in fact, I've said this many times that regardless of party association, you get people together in a fucking barbecue. It's all good.
Yeah, that's true.
Good food, good drinks, laughs, and I mean nobody's fighting.
Right.
Food always will bring people together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. So yeah, about that, we need to have a little hot dog pizza cookout in front of the Capitol one of these days too. Let's bring some people together.
Oh my gosh, dude! this pedophile thing is really, really boiling my blood, dude. And I just don't know. I mean, that personally, I can't do. I mean, I just can't go on a rampage. If I see it with my own eyes, well, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I hope and I pray that that never happens. But understand, I mean, people have children because they love life. It's an extension of their future moving forward, like I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And when you try to mess that up and try to sabotage that, it's just, no.
If we're not defending our children, then our lives are meaningless.
Yeah. Because essentially, I mean, we're cutting ourselves short, excuse me. And no, dude. The more you talk about this topic, man, it really irritates me. And I'm an individual that I learned early in life that getting angry for nothing really leads to nowhere.
How do we lead these rioters to Hollywood? You know what I mean? How do we just get them all to just change direction and focus on the right? That's the real crux.
I don't know. Do you hear what happened over in Beverly Hills, right? They started, these people have been trying to been calling out to defund the police in Beverly Hills and every other state. And what do? They call the cops when the rioters starting, looting. Let's call the cops. Hold on. Wait. So you want to defund the cops, but you're calling the cops when, things turn sour.
It's liberal privilege, George.
I mean, so really, if
privilege.
If these individuals actually took the time to, no, let me rephrase that. If these individuals with this type of mindset actually sat down with just a regular person just to talk things out, maybe there could be something that could be discussed and worked, and maybe meet in the middle.
They don't want to talk though.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That they basically ramble and scream, and all they do, and they want, all they would want to do is attack, and they want to be in their what do you call it? They want to
cult. It's a cult, George.
Whatever. The point being is they're humans, and whether they're possessed or not, it doesn't matter. I mean, we have to basically break through their trance and be able to try to change their ways. Remember, what this is from the movie Lord of the Rings. What was a king that was just like, and he was being controlled by this other guy, right? And Gandalf came in and
right.
and changed. It was like, oh, and it was all along. It wasn't the dude right next to him. He was just kind of manipulating him, but it was what's his name, Saruman, altogether. It's like, oh, and his skin started changing to normal color.
Yeah.
Remember that? We can do that, just like Gandalf. Hey, shit, I'll carry staff if I have to.
A few people are willing to listen, though, and
have you come across anybody? Tell me.
A couple.
Yeah.
A couple. And it's, you kill them with kindness, and they open their eyes, and then they delete their Facebook account.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
I think I mentioned this last week, I got a complete stranger, having a long Facebook discussion. She loved calling me all sorts of ignorant and da-da-da-da because I support Donald Trump because he goes after pedophiles. And, I got her to watch that Out of the Shadows documentary produced by the Hollywood stuntman who knew what was going on in the shadows.
I saw that.
Yeah, and then by the end, she was just like, whoa, her mind was blown, and she doesn't have Facebook anymore, but she had kept in touch with me and asked me questions for like a week or so, and then all of a sudden her Facebook account got deleted. So I think she's out just, talking to people now.
I talk to people everywhere I can.
Yeah, it's good.
And one of the main, in fact, I'm almost short with them, or try to keep the conversation very straight to the point with that, because when you talk to strangers, people tend to kind of get thrown off because of, why is this individual talking to me? So, hey, how's it going? Listen.
Hey, how's it going? Hollywood, Tom Hanks is a pedophile?
No, but what I do is, listen, you as my fellow human, and I'm speaking to you because you're my fellow human. I care, and I would hope that, I can try to, relay some information regarding this, this virus.
Yeah.
And I tell them, look, just look up Operation Lockstep. So, well, what is that? Look it up. everything that you see unfolding now, where the masks and the distancing and everything else is, all that is written there.
By Rockefeller, right?
Yes.
Rockefeller or Rothschild?
Rockefeller.
Okay.
It was written by the Rockefeller Foundation.
Operation Lockstep. Look it up.
Operation Lockstep. And they look and it's like, oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Every time I go and talk to these people. In fact, when I went to the hospital to pick up my eye drops, because I messed up my eye, has some metal shavings in there. Second time it happened. So I went to, and they have, it's ridiculous, man. They have a line set up, and right in between the line they have soap, and then they have what is that alcohol-based liquid thing?
Hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer. And then they check your temperature. So not only that I get to wash my hands twice, reluctantly, because I was not thrilled at all. So what is this bullshit? This is horseshit. I flat out said it. I don't see how businesses operate at 25%.
Yeah.
Seriously. So I was like, dude, this is only going to lead to losing our country because you're going along to this bullshit. I told the one guy, because after I went to the nurse, went through this whole bullshit, I ended up going outside because I had forgotten my wallet in the van.
Mm-hmm.
Came back, she didn't check me again, which makes no sense if that there's no logic there. Came back, saw the nurse, whatever, and while I was in the bathroom doing my other things, I need to wash my hands off this garbage because it was getting sticky, right? I went and had my mask off. I was like, well, motherfuckers, I'm here. Even though nobody was watching me, but I was just, just go. And then after put my mask and then try to keep it low. My nose is very small, so the mask falls off. Right?
It's not a small nose.
It is a small nose. It might be wide nose, but it falls. If it falls off, it's like fuck this. And then my chin is somewhat wide. So, but anyways, I went through that fucking process. Saw the nurse. She took care of my eye. Came out. Took my mask right before I stepped out. There was a security guard there. He didn't say shit. Yeah. Then I went to pick up my these eye drops, right? And I went through the same process. So, dude, I just fucking went through the same bullshit. I mean, over in the
Can't cross contaminate.
I was walking a fucking parking lot. How back can it be, right? So then he asked me to basically stand up in this. So whether it's a blue or green dot on the ground, like a sticker, to check my temperature again, and then asked me to wash my hands again. It's like, dude, I just came from on the other side. They asked me to do the same thing, but see, this is fucking training.
Yeah,
they're training you to accept, and in fact, like I told you earlier, I asked my doctor.
Well, they're not just training you too; they're training the people that are telling you to do that.
Yeah, and that's
it's giving them that little sense of power. A little tickle in the balls,
It's gonna get ugly, dude.
Little ball tickle.
It's gonna get ugly, dude. Knock it off, dude. It's gonna get ugly. So they go, and then I lost my train of thought. But he goes and tells me to wash my hands and wait. So I go, and there's dots every 6 feet. I didn't fucking step on those dots. I fucking went straight through. There was no people there.
I always stand right between them.
So here's where I'm
like on the side.
This is where I'm trying to get to. So there was a patient waiting for her medication, and I told her, listen, all this stuff is bullshit. No, it's real. So let me just say something, and this is what I'm going to say only. Bill Gates is running this whole thing. Just follow the money.
The doctor?
Yes, Bill Gates, the doctor. Huh. I told her, look, Bill Gates been doing this. He's behind the whole thing. Follow the money, you'll find out. Look up Operation Lockstep.
Look up his new patent.
Yeah.
WO 2020-060606 cryptocurrency.
When he went on CNN, what's Fareed Zakaria, and he was telling, just the next wave is gonna be even worse, and it's gonna be more devastating. Well, he's laughing. I tell her, he's laughing. Well, he's basically telling these people, just kind of murky, it's gonna happen. Just wait.
We've been so desensitized by like the movies and stuff that when a supervillain gets on in his pink sweater and he's like, oh yeah, billions are gonna die when they take my virus, blah blah blah, I'm gay. accept it because we've been so desensitized by seeing like characters like Thanos up there saying millions have to die and stuff like that.
It's all psychological.
Yeah.
And and that's the trends that we need to break people from. It's inform individuals, even though a lot of people may think that we may be crazy. It's coming to a point where, look, your cities are burning, man. Come on.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's sadly it's gonna get really ugly. And one thing I want to mention, I think, unless you want to call it off here or want to move forward, continue until.
Let's go.
Okay, but one of the things that we need to focus on, if everything goes down to hell in a handbasket, the targets are not your fellow human. Is the people who have perpetrated all this bullshit.
Correct.
Who is behind the curtain? Who has caused this or has been part of this to change your livelihood? And I'm speaking to you, the public. Who is responsible? Your fellow human, your fellow neighbor, whether you dislike him or her or not. Who is responsible for this perpetration? We need to start looking at that very seriously. It starts from bottom of the chain. The management in your county, your city. The people in state. And moving forward.
The flight attendants.
I mean, understand, but see that they're also useful idiots. They're the ones just following orders, just like everybody else. But no, who's really behind the problem? Not your neighbor, not this. All of this will be resolved if we just stop focusing on different opinions and start going at it at each other.
No.
These individuals want that. We don't want that. We want humanity to move forward. We don't want to see people getting killed, regardless of opinion or what have you.
Right.
We want to basically resolve the problem, but these individuals have done it for so long, and they have repeated the same idea every single time with different countries, that they just make it seem like it's going to be okay. But what they don't understand is that here in America, we have millions of guns, millions of patriots, millions of veterans.
No.
They're not going to get away with it.
Nope.
But we don't want to basically lose life, innocent life with different opinions that have been manipulated through the media.
Well, they're working up. What they're doing is they're working up all the people that claim to be peaceful. Like they're working them up. They're getting them. It's like they're just bubbling, ready to go. And then people like me, you, veterans, we're just sitting back, like, okay.
But here's the thing.
When you come into my place,
Here's the other thing, Brandon, that these parents who have given their children to these colleges to be indoctrinated, essentially they paid for their own destruction.
But they don't know that. You know what I mean? It's a cult mindset that's gone on for generations and generations of just people just believing what comes out of the TV box. You need to have this degree to be anything in life, which totally isn't true. I mean, just pick up some tools and learn to work with your hands, kids. You know what I mean? Like, build something. That's what's going to be most important in the end, is people who know how to fix and build and help your neighbors, and that's invaluable skills.
Whatever happened to those influencers? Really, that's a good point. These influencers who have invented things to make this world a better place. Where are these people? Why aren't they out there showing themselves?
People like Tesla, not Elon Musk, but real Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
The one he was an influencer, but he's gone.
Yeah.
Thanks, government.
Yeah, and we have all this technology that could change the world, and I'm hoping that it gets released soon, so that we can move on to the stars and and do our thing.
Right. It's like, I don't care what color the future is, black, white, brown, purple, red.
We are humans. At the end of the day, we are humans.
We're human.
This is only one sphere of many, and we have our own sphere here that we need to take care of. And no, this idea that that global warming, that's just another means of propaganda to basically manipulate your mind, whether it's real or not. We as individuals need to change that mentality and look, we need to work together. Okay, fine, let's say that there is global warming. Who's really causing this problem? These major corporations, these oil companies, these people who create things to basically destroy the earth.
China.
It's not the people ourselves. Sure, we have become a nation of consumerism, but at the same time, if we change the way we live by through our means, we can make small steps to change the world.
No, that's the thing. They're telling us to change, but they
Right.
don't want to change themselves. They fly
That's
around
my
in these
point.
private jets, and they're like, hey, you're bad for driving a truck, even though your private jet is putting out more carbon emissions than the entire city of Vacaville.
But see, look, let me just say this. And this is what I learned when I was, in Mexico. And, we have pretty decent, school system. And one of the things that I learned when I was a kid, second grade, we learn how the cycle works. Very basic. You have trees that breathe carbon dioxide. We have humans that breathe oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide.
Yep.
The circle comes around through carbon dioxide and other things, and the process keeps going where oxygen and carbon dioxide is basically leveled.
Circle of life.
Circle of life. That's how it works.
Yep.
Trees, green life, humans, and other animals that all do the same thing. Nothing changes. But then these nerds come around to try to manipulate, the entire system. Says, well, we don't need humans, especially children. They're the ones who are causing the problem. We need to kill them all because they're hurting the planet. No, motherfucker, you're hurting the planet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's shown now. Like, just look at a baseball game on TV. You're not needed anymore. You're just a cardboard cutout.
Right. Who came up with a stupid idea?
Oh my god.
Listen.
And then in China they have robots that like sit there and dance for games. Like, no human. Like, it's weird. It's weird what's going on in the world. I don't know if that's China or Japan or something, but yeah, they got robots dancing.
I'm curious. And I mean, this is the fuckery of dude. Did these people, even though they pay for their season tickets or whatever, did they pay for this cutout additionally?
Yeah.
So they
You
paid
pay
extra.
for a cutout, and then you have an app on your phone. You don't have to be a cardboard cutout to have this app, but you can hit applaud, cheer, or boo, and then the players will hear it. So it's supposed to help the players feel like they're in a game, and this is all super Orwellian and weird, right? It's like, oh, you hit a home run, clap. Oh, you hit a home run, boo. And then I guess they tally up the votes on whether to hit clap or boo.
What the grand fuck?
Yeah. You're not needed. They don't need you.
Wow. Somebody needs to pay the price. Somebody needs to be hanged for this bullshit.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't understand, dude.
Like I said before, though, I don't care what color the future is. I just want it to be pro-human, pro-life, pro-family, pro-gun.
If somebody came to your house and tried to abuse your family,
Self-defense,
self-defense, right? That's just number one.
Mm-hmm.
You build something so some douchebag can come and fucking wreck it, destroy it. We look at that picture. Look at that picture on a bigger scale. The state, just another fraction of this big land.
Yeah.
You come and you have some douchebag destroying everything we have. And everybody's sitting around doing nothing.
Nothing. And it's they are doing something. They're saying that civilians shouldn't have guns, but then at the same time, they're saying that the state should have guns, but at the same time they're rioting against the state for killing people. Like, what? Like, how are you going to tell me? How are you going to yell Black Lives Matter and be anti-gun? I just don't get it. Like, do you history, bro? Do you history? The Black Panthers used to walk around with AK-47s on their back to defend their neighborhoods. And like I said before, had they been there when George Floyd was being choked out, or when that guy that was selling loose cigarettes,
I don't remember his name.
I remember. Oh man, that's bad.
That's all right.
The guy that they choked him out. Eric Garner.
Okay.
When he was selling loose cigarettes and they choked him out. If the Black Panthers were there with their AK-47s, that never would have happened. So how can you be pro-black and anti-gun? I don't get it. I don't get it. You need guns to good people with guns defend against bad people with guns, and you're gonna leave the guns in the hands of the same state that strangles Eric Gardner and puts their knee on George Floyd's neck. Are they the only ones that you get guns? The guys in blue? Defund them. First thing to go when you defund anything is the training.
Something came out to mind, and it comes and goes sometimes. Sometimes these thoughts come to mind, and the only reason why blue states won no guns is because so they can get away with everything they've done unscathed.
Right. The parties never switched. We talked. This is what we opened up with 2 weeks ago. The parties have never switched. The Democrats still run Black America, and they run it to the dirt. Black people die in Democrat-run districts all the time, and
I would believe it if they actually made some changes to the city itself, and they haven't. It's just getting worse and worse. Even
we got a good candidate coming out of Baltimore right now, though.
Yeah.
For Congress, she's her campaign ad. She's basically walking through Baltimore, just showing like these are what the Democrats have done, showing all these abandoned buildings and dilapidated situations.
Here's a beautiful thing that I've noticed, though.
As long as voter fraud doesn't happen, she'll be good.
I've noticed the Black Americans are coming up. I say, "Fuck this! No, we're taking charge."
Yes, and I love to see that.
Yeah. I mean, there's your racism, motherfuckers. There's none. You political scumbags are making it, racist. What's this other individual? Is it the mayor of? No. His last name is Williams. I saw his ad a couple of days ago and this morning. It's another black individual who's running for Gavin's position.
Major.
Yeah.
That's his last name, Major. He's running for...
I thought it was Williams. I may be wrong. But, I saw him. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to touch on was the mayor of L.A. What a fucking clown.
You're having a party, so I need to cut off your PG&E.
But he's having...
Come out and riot, though. Come on.
Come out and riot. This guy really, I did tell you, then I kind of did touch on it last 2 weeks ago, where I sent him a message, dude, have you read recent history of Ceausescu? You know what happens to him, his wife? Just, look into it, bro. Look into it.
I don't know.
What happened? Have you seen, you don't know the story of Ceausescu?
Mm-mm.
He was,
Tell the people.
Ceausescu basically was a communist, call him socialist, whatever you want to, but every day he would only give the people 2 hours of electricity. People got fed up. The economy was down to shit. I was reading that the people were protesting so much so that they convinced the military to do the same. So the military, because he had the military pointing cannons, tanks pointing the barrels towards the people, and the people for the military turned with the people, grab Nikolai and Elena. They gave him a quick trial. The very same day, they lined them up and fucking shot him.
Nice.
It's on YouTube. Look it up.
I will.
They basically line them up. They don't show the whole because it's very graphic. They just line them up, put them on a fucking wall, both of them. The wife was screaming all the stuff. It's like, no.
That's what happens to traitors.
Literally, they got executed by military squad. And this country needs to do the same thing. I'm more opposed. I'm opposed to the idea of these criminals getting away with all these crimes and given jail sentences, because at the end of the day, I still pay for it. My tax dollars pay for jail.
Yeah.
I'm opposed to the idea of individuals who have caused so much chaos and have destroyed so many lives that they're either executed by gas or a bullet. That's too easy. Hang these scumbags. Hang them all.
Yeah.
In public.
That's what they used to do back in the day to, like, you know, pedophiles and stuff, and that was before we had all these, like, doctors and psychiatrists and stuff putting all these kids on pills, you know. I think kids that were, I think in the Wild West. Okay, let's just go with an example. In the Wild West, if someone touched a little kid in town, that person was hung publicly. The kid saw it, the family saw it, and they watched that man get every little last bit of life come out of his throat. And I think that is mentally helpful for the victim. It's for them to see, okay, he's gone.
But see,
the whole town saw it. They had his back, you know. There's
another point to that. It creates this perspective, especially from those who are in the same position of crime. Whether it doesn't matter what level of crime, but the more, you know, say you're a killer, you took people's life, you abused children, or you get caught with, you know, whatever. If this individual gets hung publicly, it would create a perception, or these other people who do similar things will think twice before they do it.
Yeah.
Because if they get caught, that's where you're going to end up, motherfucker.
Ultimate embarrassment.
Exactly.
Totally justified.
If we come here to nowadays, to this day, if that took place today, watch how many scumbags run to the hills.
Hillary Clinton would be like, human rights for pedophiles. You know, isn't that what she used to do? Didn't she defend pedophiles in court before she became a senator or something like that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, some dudes in Arkansas, they ripped a little 9-year-old's guts out and through her vagina.
And then there was a cassette recording of her.
She defended that in court.
There was a recording of her laughing about it too. Laughing about it.
Right in your face.
These people are crazy, dude. I mean, I don't understand how these individuals go and laugh as if it's okay. I mean,
desensitized by the movies. Again, you know.
I don't understand.
We've been desensitized. We see supervillains in the movies. And so then when we see them here, it's like, oh, no, they're not really a supervillain. That's only in the movies, you know. It's a crazy world.
I think it's a good idea to end it here, man, because I don't want to keep going and just getting more upset.
Yeah.
But, hey, guys, thanks for watching. This is going to go up live soon on our channel. It's called, what's our channel called? In fact, we don't even have a name or topic. Stealth Defiance. We're going to try to modify our videos a little more. Everything's raw and straightforward. There's no editing unless there's some blemishes in my face and Brandon's nose. I don't know. There might be, but most likely not.
No.
Again, thanks for watching, guys. This is it, and this is Brandon and George saying peace.
Peace.